Hello, good morning. 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 Online audience. Hello, good morning. Microphone check. If you're online, unmute your mic and speak. Good morning. Unmute your mic and speak.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Microphone check. Good morning. Good morning. Unmute your mic and speak if you're online. Unmute your mic and speak. We just want to check the mic. Mic check. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Can you hear you? Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Can you hear you? Good morning.
Oh,
Hello, good morning. 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 I'm trying to see if we can hear.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me from his system?
When the participants spoke together, it was very good. Like one of the participants.
You could hear
Yeah, I could hear.
when Pascal spoke,
Yeah.
or you cannot hear me.
Yeah. Choose the check.
Please tell your friends to come so that this hall will fill up. I need this hall full. Tell your friends to come or join remote if they can't come. We're starting now.
Yeah, I think
No problem. So, this session, I only see, right? Have it been?
My name is Taha Jawaji. I'm the founder of the team. I currently at Freddie Garrett.
I'm Jemima Louis, the head of marketing and communications at Think. My name is Chika Mara, and I'm the regional marketing and corporate communications manager at Vision. I'm responsible for East Africa. So I don't.
My name is Tapo. We start a partner at Paystack. My name is Shreya co-founder and CEO at Paystack. My name is Kieran Jackman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Conduct. Hi, my name is Lucia. I'm also a co-founder, CEO at Bestie. Hi, my name is Chad Howard. I'm the Vice President General Manager for BBG Africa, based here in Nairobi, Kenya.
I'm Mariana Shola, I'm the managing director for Endeavor in Kenya. We are a network of high-growth tech founders.
My name is Frank Mola, I'm the managing director for NBC. So my name is Emmanuel Sapo Pedro. I'm the managing director of NBC Ghana, West Africa. My name is Zakania Arabiwa. I'm alive at the African FinTech Summit, where we're interviewing African founders, operators, and investors that are key players in the African tech ecosystem. I mean, we can have the conglomeration of founders what is happening in the African business space right now.
Provide an African penetration provider for Africa. We try to connect Africa with the rest of the world.
Hello, good morning.
Africa with
Hello, good
itself
morning.
provide payment solutions for Africa.
Being as an African cloud communications platform, we enable businesses to create lasting relationships with their customers for sales, marketing, and authentication over SMS, USSD, and now chat across 25 African markets.
So I think we are solving the payment challenges for businesses. So what we see today is that for you to
Hello, good
send
morning.
and
Hello,
receive
good
payments
morning.
across different borders and different currencies, it's incredibly hard, especially when there is no infrastructure to power.
Lagos in 2010 taught him how to sort of pay homage to the bedrock. In the 90s, Nigeria was heavy on software. that tech ecosystem really started startups that we see today, right?
It feels like a lot of people have just shown up and have completely forgotten how to sort of pay homage to the bedrock. In the 90s, Nigeria was heavy on software. I think those type of stories haven't been told enough.
The storytelling has been critical.
People need to understand what is going on. People need to be excited. People need to be angry. But I think Paystack is a story that needs to be told, because without them, there's no fintech industry. No, zero, nothing at all. Like, there's so many folks that, bled, sweated, cried, put all this stuff together.
But I think they don't get enough credit for someone doing a good job. Everybody was talking about the sexy stuff and the shiny app.
Unless something changes by 2025, 2026, we'll essentially be back where we were in 2010 when we started. Right now, what we have is inconsistency. I definitely feel that we need to address that core issue, otherwise nothing really matters.
Yeah, these things need to be put down for posterity.
Hi there, my name is Kisisini. I'm the host of Founders Connect, a show on YouTube that spotlights founders and operators in Africa, their life stories, their lessons, their challenges, and the journey that's brought them to the products that they're currently building. I started Founders Connect because I realized that there are lots of stories about the products that we're building, the accelerators that we're joining, and the money that we're raising, but not a lot, and hardly do that about the founders themselves. So why did I decide to do this documentary? Like many others, tech has changed my life. Specifically, tech in Nigeria changed my life. From learning digital marketing, to training thousands of Nigerians in digital skills, to leading growth for early-stage businesses, and then even investing in astounding businesses. And now, telling the story of inspiring founders via my YouTube channel. In so many ways, I have been impacted by the never-ending tech innovation and how it has all come together to build a thriving ecosystem. Secondly, after doing over 50 interviews, I realized that the stories of founders are single stories. Yet, in every interview, I am reminded that everything in this ecosystem is connected. Every time I interview a founder, I'm inspired by their grit, their resilience, and of course, their innovation. Even more, I discover bits and pieces of how everything influences one another. And so I thought to myself, why not tell this bigger story? The story of the ecosystem that has changed my life. This story explores how it all started, what tech in Nigeria was many years ago, some of the most pivotal moments in our history, the policies and key players that have made a big difference, and shows the investments that have contributed to how we do. It also paints a picture of how far we have come and highlights what we are most proud of. More importantly, it shows that we're just getting started. That there's absolutely no limit to what we achieve in the coming years, and there's definitely so much more to come. I hope that this story inspires you, like it has inspired me.
So I started Paga in 2009. There really was no tech ecosystem at all.
There was no ecosystem, at least to my knowledge. If there was, it was very latent. It was definitely bubbling at the time. So at the time when I started, I was here in sort of Southeast London. I actually travelled for the first time to Lagos in, if I believe I'm right, March, April 2010. I then moved to Nigeria, Lagos, in 2010, October, November. And within 6 or 7 months, I'd seen that there were a handful of people who were doing things. The likes of the Jobbermans of the world. At that time, Sim had just started. I can't remember what name it was called, but it was called something past that.
But at that time, first of all, there was very little by the way of early stage venture capital. So for instance, we tried to fundraise. There was no one really willing to take a risk. I mean, there was some venture, but it was very nascent, very niche. But also, we also then tried to raise debt, and obviously that was even harder. So the first thing that I think was a marker of that period was just the very nascent supply of venture capital to fund early stage companies or technology companies at the time.
Nobody knew what valuations were. At the time, venture capital was this new profession coming out of business school. So I just finished business school a few years before. And in a class of 200, they probably took like 2 people. So it was still a very closed and inaccessible industry. So it was pretty non-existent. So in 2009, I had no ambitions to create a startup or to work for a startup or to do anything with a startup. So it was still very nascent.
Tech was something that was just for some special people. It wasn't as mainstream, but it was full of a lot of geeks. a lot of people that write code, a lot of people that want to go on some platforms that just bash each other about what API is.
Well, since 2014, when I started Andela, the reality was that the tech scene then was very, very different from what it is now. Before Andela, I actually worked more directly as soon as I came back from Canada to help build a company called Fora. And that was really my first real foray into the tech scene. Most people in the tech community could fit into the 6th floor of CC Hub, and a lot of us actually just met on the 6th floor of CC Hub and continue to remain good friends ever since.
Most of the roles we know today didn't even exist then. There was clearly no identity infrastructure, which is pretty much the foundation of doing business on the internet. There was no payment infrastructure. The payment infrastructure that was available was also limiting. So I would say at the beginning it was exciting because the internet had come to Nigeria, mobile phone was getting down to people, but was also very limiting because of the absence of talent and infrastructure.
Even though there were startup founders, if somebody was a founder in Lekki and you were a founder in VI, there was no avenue for you to meet, right? So, but because I had this mailing list, and because I was on TechCrunch and my blog post on Business Insider went far, and the Nigerians were like, hey, black guy on TechCrunch, I'll follow him or whatever it is, I'll email him and stuff. That's how I met him and Dimachi and quite a number of people. Because of that, I had, will I say, the first an early mailing list of startup people that are interested in startups. Then, of course, some of the things I did on Hacker News went popular. That's how I met Shola and a few other people on those communities. So when I came back, I held arguably the first startup meetup in October 2010, right, in 4 Points. Then I met Sim Shagaya, I met Lloyd. Lloyd used to run Tech Lloyd and Startups Nigeria. Then I met Shola.
It was sort of like early 2011 when I actually attended the first ecosystem event. It was organized by OO, and for the first time I met Sim there. Sarah Lacey's TechCrunch was in Nigeria, just writing, reporting. I met the founders of Jobberman. I met the founders of a few companies. I can't actually remember the names of the companies because they don't really exist anymore. But I do remember some of the founders that I met. And I think Sim was definitely the big standout person. Who I guess went on to build a big part of the foundation of what we're doing to be there, at least the internet services ecosystem in Nigeria.
So in 2012, 2013, I had to work with startups at Etisalat, and at the time, what that role required was for Etisalat to partner with smaller companies in the content, media, gaming space to try to deliver their products to Etisalat's roughly 20 million subscribers at the time. So that job essentially entailed finding commonality, which was us looking for products or content that consumed our core connectivity services, whilst also providing opportunities for startups to grow grow their customer base for their products. So I think for me, just trying to find a meeting of minds between such, small companies and big companies relatively was pretty interesting. But it also showed me how partnership can be a route to scale.
To now cement it all, Main One came in with connectivity to the rest of the world. Not that it didn't exist, but it didn't exist the way they brought it.
So I think first and foremost, Main One, Auntie Funke was very proactive in engaging with local startups and essentially providing them with broadband. Again, if you look at Iwoko's first few years, we actually couldn't upload our content directly to YouTube. It was just too expensive and just took too long, right? So in the end, I literally had to put somebody on a plane with a hard drive, fly them to the Google offices. I think it was the Victoria at the time or something like that, and it would essentially have to sort of load it directly from Google's offices. The first time Auntie Funke from Main One heard that, she was like, "Look, that's ridiculous. We have capacity. Let's figure something out." And she gave us a really good discount to enable us to start actually building from within Lagos and Nigeria, right?
And to make it all hang out, we had our first fintech in InterSwitch that brought the banks together, making payment online something of reality.
In those days, if you
wanted anything to a bank, from a bank or your bank or the account officer, you just have to take that trip to that bank. There's no other way. And it was that difficult. Now I find it so lazy, even sometimes going to the mall. But in those days you have to go. Now, in those days, if you wanted internet banking, you would go to the banking and they have to set you up there. They have to give you your password. You see your password. If things went wrong, you won't have any way to solve the problem. If you wanted a card, you could take weeks to get your card. And if you lost your card, it would take weeks to get it replaced and still have to get it back. That was the way it used to be. And even despite the fact that looking back right now, it feels very kind of anti-Nigerian or very Asian, it was still a big deal. Because even for those banks doing those things those days, it's still way and beyond the older generation banks. So it was difficult.
The second thing that was very difficult at that time was really building any kind of business that needed to process payments online. This was really, I mean, there was some providers, but it wasn't very effective. To be honest, it didn't work very well, hardly ever worked. There wasn't yet an acceptance of technology as a way of doing things, per se, at a mainstream level, right? People were still very reluctant. Even if you could collect payments online, people were very reluctant to make payments online. Connectivity wasn't where.
Please tell those who left that we are now starting. You know, it's the first time we're doing this, so this is why we couldn't start 10 because we're looking for students. There's a class going on, and we needed to teach some of you there. And most students are not on campus. Most students are not on campus, so that is why we're starting the building. So, good morning, everyone. I'll just say morning, even if it's what 11. Good morning, everyone. How are you all? I hope you're fine. I'm not getting a warm response. Good morning, everyone. Are you all happy to be here? You've made a good decision to be here. Those who left, they've lost out, but you can still tell them to come back. So we'll just start immediately. I welcome you all here. Why are we gathered here? I've been in this department since 2009, 2010, and that's 15, 16 years. All through my staying here, I've realized that most of our students are working. Some are doing event management, restaurant, and other things. I started wondering, how can we help the students? And then lately, a lot of our students have been sacked by the top companies, because we have many companies, software companies laying off their staff due to artificial intelligence and automation. So the future looks bleak. I said, how can we help this generation of youth, of students here to navigate these challenging times? I've been invited to various fora where I've been speaking as speaker, and I've seen that for you to make it, you need to move with people in the business sector. You understand me? You need to know about business. Unfortunately, in our curricula at the university level, all universities in Nigeria, I don't know about other countries, but for Nigeria, we don't have anything for business. We are just doing normal computing courses, math, physics, chemistry, just GST, no business course. I did agric economics BSc for PGD computer, MSc computer, PhD computer. So I know that management, economics, business, money making, everything is important. Marketing. I was a marketing executive before I went to my company, before I joined Unilever. I've worked in various capacities, so there's a missing gap. By interacting with industry when I speak, I realize that they are running faster than us. Those in management will employ you in tech and pay you and use you. You understand me? Those with management skill will employ you. So give you one idea, you start implementing. They are making the millions, right? You are there working. Why can't you start making the money and employ people? So I came up with this concept. I said, okay, we're going to run. We set up Intelligence Systems Lab. One of our lecturers here, Mr. Abbas, is a member. Why did he set it up? We want to help you as you are here to turn your ideas, your research, your thinking into products. You understand me? Not just to do research for research sake and your research is hanging in, just dumped in the shelf. We want a change. You know, we're now a faculty of computing and informatics. 3 departments, computer science department, artificial intelligence and robotics department, cybersecurity and software engineering. These 3 departments, I felt, okay, with this new wind of change, there should be a change. So we set up this conversation with him and other people. We are helping you from our own intelligence systems lab. We help our students create something that is meaningful. We don't just do research for research sake. It should be research that has impact, that has socio-economic value that can get something from it. So we also set up a company, Rated AI Consulting, that will help move you to the industry. So we are partnering with different organizations. One of them is SBC Startup School. They have special program, as we shall unveil later, for you to help you learn. And we have to choose we have to choose to do this event now, because as you go home now, you're doing nothing. While at home, instead of just eating chicken and rice, do something. You are going to learn. Before you come back January, you'll be well equipped to run. You come back to meet me. You say, man, we are ready. I've done this, I've done this. You are ready with your idea. With that idea, you will be able to validate it if the idea is good. If it's not good, you do for refinement from the training you will get from their school. It's a free school. You learn everything, and then when you're through, there will be a launch pad. We are going to select those that will take part in this launch pad, SDC launch pad. This will help you build a company in 9 weeks. In 9 weeks, not 9 years. In 9 weeks, you would know, you get partners. They will train you. People with that idea, you pay 30K. People with idea and team members, you pay 50K to their company. Because they have other industry people. Only one person, the whole team, if you have 3, maximum of 3, the 50,000 can be contributed by 3 of you to pay for this training. It's for 9 weeks. You will come up with a company that you start making money and you gain traction. You gain traction. Are you getting it? And then once you start getting traction, you now apply for grants like this $10,000, $100,000, $50,000 each. The program will take you through it, and then you start making money. So before you graduate, don't wait till you graduate. And then we have 3 categories. People without idea is 30K. People with idea and team members is 50K. People who have started their business but are stuck with problems, 50K for 9 weeks training, paying directly to their company, SDC. And then there's one competition, SDC Champions, where you also compete the whole African universities for a slot here. But that's a long route. We don't want that champion waiting. It's once a year. We want you to quickly key in here, pay your money, and run. So you can build your company and start making money after 9 weeks of training. Once this is done, we would, Rated AI Consulting has some agreement to draft with you on further of helping you pitch, get more grants. You run. After a while, we'll hands up and you start running with your company and making all your money alone. But there's a small fee we are charging for everything. So that is why I'm here, to help you. We're going to duplicate what is happening in Boston University, in MIT, in Silicon Valley, here in Nigeria. That is our goal. You're welcome as we take on this ride. Thank you. I will hand over to, I wanted Dr. Abbas to be here. I told him to come. Dr. Aziz. I wanted the HOD is of non-academic absent. She has a program 11 to 1. She left. And then the dean, Professor Adewale, has a class 11 to 1, 1 to 3. He told me to go ahead. So this is just to acknowledge their support for our event. I told Dr. Aziz to come around. I went to his office, just ended his class and pushed you guys here. I'll call him, but before he comes, I'll hand over to Cynthia, who is going to go on with the presentation. Overview of startup business from start to end. Thank you. A round of applause for Cynthia. I met her here. How did I run into Cynthia? Cynthia is the vice president of SPAC. Please come up for recognition, sir. Let's come up for recognition. It's our HOD, cybersecurity and software engineer. It's coming for recognition. It's one of the HODs to just support us, to lend his support. I met her last year at African Startup Festival, the biggest event, the biggest in Africa, the biggest. She is the VP of the company. Everything there works like abroad at Federal Palace Hotel. I've never been honored like they did to me. They gave me so much recognition. I was on their billboard. They gave me fine shots. They snapped me. They sported me like a big star. And then I was put at the opening of the event. I was at the panel, and I met big people. After that, this year again, they called me. They said they want me to do their opening speech, guest speaker. So the President Clinton, Nneka, called me. He called me, please, tomorrow. I said, okay. I came again.
and it was at Madhouse. I never knew we had Madhouse event. I took a cab from Boremi. It was just behind Chinos Beggar. And I cried. I said, oh my God, if I would have just walked past this bridge. I didn't know. The building was so really beautiful. So Unilag has a lot. So on that note, please let's recognize one of our HODs, Dr. Aziz, Associate Professor Aziz. You should be a full recognition to the HOD, cybersecurity, and software engineering. Please, we need you to support.
Okay, thank you very much. I was caught unaware. Dr. Bruce Lee is our nature. So, unfortunately, I wasn't actually informed, but I understand the idea behind the whole program. Well, let me just share one idea, one view with you. I happen to represent the University of Lagos in Abuja. Maybe early 2024, I can't remember. Yeah, early 2024. So what was actually the representation was all about? So, Step Fund, really, has actually identified that the majority of the lecturers we are so much interested in book writing, publication. Do you understand? So now, the question now is, what can you actually use the knowledge, the research you've already carried out into the publication you've already reported in journals and conference proceedings, what can they actually transform into in terms of knowledge, in terms of implementation? So the whole program was actually called R4I, so research for implementation. So what they are actually tending towards is, we are trying to want to try to sensitize all the academics, people, researchers generally, and the lecturer that we should look beyond publication. When you do research in the corner of your office or in your university, what can it be? What can it transform? What can it bring for you? What can it bring to the table? Do you understand? So research for implementation. So they are trying to encourage us from moving from research for publication to research for implementation. So what can it benefit? I don't know whether you're getting the. So the majority of you might actually not understand, but my colleague in academia, my co-lecturer understand it better. So you have a very brilliant opportunity, very good one, for you to have these August visitors among you, who will actually give you encouragement on how you can even be on your own, an entrepreneur at the end of the day. So that is one of the reasons why you are here, and I'm very sure you are going to benefit immensely from their, from their wealth of experience and the knowledge they've already gathered over the year in the industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to listen very attentively as Dave will be mounting the podium to talk to you on some of the issues that I think I know, I think those that I don't know. I welcome all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. He is the industry professional, Cynthia Chisom. They are in charge of the biggest tech event in Nigeria called African Startup Festival. Those were met last year. Thank you. Please, you may have the floor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. All right, great. Let's begin with this very important question. How many of you here want to become startup founders? Maybe you saw it online, you saw a couple of people. Okay, just raise your hands really well. For those who don't want to become, I guess you want to be employees of these people, right? Is that your plan? Okay, so for those who don't want to be startup founders, what do you want to be? You didn't raise your hand. Yes. You're not sure. You're not sure you want to become a startup founder? You're sure. Okay, so that means a good number of us in the room actually want to become startup founders. Second one, how many of you have started working on an idea with some friends? Started working on an idea, no matter how big, so you guys have tried met and talked about the idea. You've met, alright? Okay, great. How many of you have started building maybe like an app? Not built, started building an app. Is it the Achievers Tribe? Is that it? Okay, so, okay. Started building an app. Let me see you. Okay, great. How many of you have started making money? Fantastic. So that's why we're here. And we're going to trash some of these key areas. So for context, just like you, over 15 years ago, I was on campus and I had an idea. I wanted to solve a problem that I noticed on campus at that time. And I knew that I needed particular skills, so I traveled, I learned the skill, and I came back and I wanted to build the company. I wanted to build like a full-on app, get everything sorted. I experienced a lot of challenges along the way, and it was because I didn't have access to knowledge. The most I had then, not like now, then was YouTube videos, and it was one white guy telling me about accounting. It could be a couple of articles that I would have to read and looking very confused. So I was basically making a lot of mistakes. People that I wanted to become co-founders with me, because I didn't understand the co-founding relationship, how to structure it, I made some mistakes. Some of them I regret, right? We are friends, but those things still linger, right? Because of lack of knowledge. So, by God's grace, I managed to scale through that phase, got more knowledge, and the company is in existence right now. It's a big deal. Okay, we have branches in Abuja and in Kaduna, we have customers all over the country, right? But it took me years to get to a point. We're looking at about 8 years of making a lot of mistakes to finally have something that is steady enough, right? The company is 7 years this year, right? But it's been quite a very tough journey. And I realized that because I didn't have that foundation laid really well, that was why I was making a lot of foolish mistakes, right? And now that I have the right knowledge, business is moving better, right? And so you now realize that knowledge is very key. And it's not just any knowledge, the knowledge that is contextual. Knowledge that is contextual. Building a startup is now becoming like the in thing right now. I mean, most everybody wants to build a startup. But do you really understand what a startup really is? How do you go about it? How do you turn what is in your head into something that can start serving real customers and start making real money? That's why you know that you actually have a company. If not, you have an NGO. You know that, right? Exactly. You need to start generating revenue. So what I'm going to do with this short time that I've been given is to just basically lay that foundation. My team members here from SDC are here. They'll put you through on how you can do further studies through SDC while you're on the holidays. So let's start with this very foundation. First thing is, when you have an idea, what do you do? So it usually happens, maybe you're walking along the road and then you see something that somebody is doing. That's actually how I came up with the idea that I turned into. It was just a circumstantial event on campus that I just saw two people arguing over an issue. And I said, there's something here, let me do more research and see if I can, solve that problem. Ideas come at any time, in any conversation. What do you do when you get those ideas? Do you have to explore all ideas? How do you know an idea is actually going to be the big one? Right? So the first place is idea, that idea. Now, there's a very important thing I'm going to mention now. It's called product market fit. Have you heard of that before? Product market fit, just raise. You have heard? Okay, great. That idea you have, your goal as the person who received the idea, for you to actually call it a startup, is to figure out how you can move from that idea to product market fit. The moment you achieve product market fit, that's when you know that you can turn that into an actual startup. Okay? So that entire process is what we've defined at SDC as the SDC startup roadmap. Right? How do you move from just an idea in your head to an actual market company? The moment you are first foundation you need to lay is one, does everybody have to be a startup founder? Do you have to be a startup founder? What is a startup? And is there another type of business you can do that is not a startup? That you can still solve the problem, but it's not a startup. And that's called SME. You've heard of SME before, right? SMEs are not bad. You know that there are many people who are building SMEs that are doing billions of naira in revenue, and they are comfortable. They don't have the startup baggage. Oh, yes, startup comes with its own baggage. SME means small, medium enterprise. Small, medium enterprise, SME. So, startup versus SME. Let me lay that foundation briefly. The whole concept of startup actually started a couple decades ago when a number of people realized that there are companies, young people are coming up with ideas, companies that at a very early stage that leverage technology to solve problems at a really large scale. This is different from the traditional SME route. So let's take this very good example. There are two founders. There's this founder who wants to solve the problem of getting access to outfits, right? Outfits, clothes being made. Okay? Remember this guy, clothes being made. Let me use this other one. Let's assume you're working in your estates, right? And then you saw your estate, you see potholes, right? Like, oh, this pothole is very bad. So what do? You tell all your estate people, let's gather money, let's put some money together, let's see how we can close those potholes. And then you take the cash that you generated, you find someone who can do the project, you close the potholes, problem solved, right? Right? So take that guy, put him on side. So that guy has solved the problem. So there's this other person, right, who noticed potholes in his estate. And also realized that not just his estate, but like a couple of people that he knows that goes to their estate, see potholes. And so he's thinking, this pothole is a big problem. How can we solve this for all these places? And so he says, okay, I'm going to go to talk to a few people in China. Let me see how I can import some of these machines, right? And then I'll set up a pothole filling company. Sounds like a good company, right? Right? So he imports those machines and he's going about from estate to estate. They're paying him, he's filling the potholes, he has staff, people working for him. He's expanding from estate to estate, from city to city. Everybody knows this company as that pothole filling company, right? So take this other guy to one side. Remember, they're both solving the city problem, right? Now, take another guy. He saw the same problem of potholes. Not just his estate, multiple estates, streets, roads. Almost everywhere you go, there's one pothole or the other. And so he says to himself, how can I solve this problem? And one, he does this. He says, okay, one is I need to be able to know how many potholes we have in our area, or our region, say Lagos State. Two is I need to be able to find a way for those potholes to be filled. And three is I need to be able to make money from that. And so what does he do? He put out a message. So if you have any pothole in your area, snap the picture and upload on this Google form. And so people snapped, they upload on the Google form. On the other side, he's going, searching online, how many pothole filling companies are out there. So he goes out, gets the pothole filling companies, how many people are responsible for filling potholes, he gets that data. And so on one side, people are filling the form with all the places that have potholes. He takes that data, gives to the pothole filling guy, say, these are all the places that have potholes, gives to construction companies, government, shares that information with them, makes money from sharing that data. And then before you know it, for him to expand to, say, Ghana, it's very easy. All he has to do is put out a word in Ghana saying, if you have any potholes, upload on this platform, and they'll be able to have those potholes filled, because on the back end, we have like a lot of people that are going to see that data. So you can see these three people are all solving the same problem, but one of them can grow at a very fast pace. Which of these three can grow at a very fast pace? Third guy. Why? Technology. It's leveraging technology. For this second guy, for this guy to grow, he needs to get more machines, employ more people, have more branches in more cities for him to expand. For that other first guy, as an NGO, short-term community project. He didn't make money from that. He just gathered people together to give money. So this other guy can expand to any country at any time. He can use Google Form today, tomorrow he can use NSN, do a couple of automations together, put it on software or Airtable. Next tomorrow you can build a full-on software app and track the data and add other features to it. Do you see that? That guy is building a startup. So a couple of decades ago, people started realizing that there are these guys here that are not the traditional people, that are solving problems differently, that we need to support. And those guys are called startups. They leverage technology to solve a big problem at scale. And that's why a company like Bolt, that is based in Estonia, a company like InDrive, that is based in Russia, can expand into Nigeria. All right, thank you so much, sir. Those companies can expand into Nigeria without a single office. All they need is just one staff. Sometimes they even use a staff to just put the word out in that country that they are here. If you want to get a boat ride, there's the app. Just go to the app store. You don't need a branch or the app store to work in your country, right? Do you see that? So the first thing is realizing, can that problem that I'm trying to solve, can I build it out as an SME or can I build it out as a startup? Now, there is the structure of the organization, but there's also the kind of person that can run these two companies, these two different types of companies. The guy that is running the SME, traditional style, right? Your book, your balance sheet is very easy to sort out. And the processes you have to figure out are very few, right? You're not leveraging technology as much except maybe to manage your backend and operations, right? The skill set required for somebody building something like that is very different, right? From the skill set required to build this startup. The agility, the ability to move with speed is very different. So you need to be sure that are you the person that can build that out? Have you asked yourself that question? Do you have the capacity, not just in terms of like hard skills, but also soft skills? Do you have vision? Because for someone who is building a startup, it has to be big. The problem has to be big, the market has to be big. And so the definition of a startup, therefore, is a startup is any organization, any business entity that solves a wicked problem at scale, leveraging technology. A startup is any business entity that solves a wicked problem at scale, leveraging technology. So these elements are very critical. If it's not a wicked problem, it's not big enough, it's not a startup. It's an SME. If you're not leveraging technology to drive growth and to grow the business, it's not a startup. Scale, technology, and the depth of the problem is very big. So let's look at some of the popular startups that we know. MoneyPoint. You know MoneyPoint, right? Leveraging technology, right? Scale, is there scale there? Great. Paystar, leveraging technology, right? Is there scale there? So the expectation of the people giving you money, which are these investors, is that when they give you $100,000 today, in less than 5 years, that $100,000 should be up to $1 million. 5 years. Only a technology startup can do that. An SME cannot do that in such a short time of 5 years. Because with a startup, if you can scale quickly, it means that you can start generating revenue in dollars. You can go to multiple countries in less than a year. I mean, look at ChatGPT. In how many weeks, how many million users did they get? Not just from US, but from all over the world. That's the power of technology. That's the expectation. So first thing you have to examine is whatever it is they're trying to build, does it fit the startup DNA? We're clear, right? So I'm going to ask the first question I asked earlier. How many of us here are building startups? Raise. The number has reduced. Has it reduced? How many of us are building SMEs? Okay, you're not sure. The thing about it is that SMEs and startups is not like, oh, this one is better than the other one, this one is more shiny than the other one. It's actually interdependent. If we take the industry of like the restaurant space, let's not even go as far as America. Let's come here, childcare. Without the restaurant, this SME restaurant, childcare cannot be what it is today. You know that, right? And without the childcare, the restaurants can make as much money they're making. So either way, SMEs in an economy, SMEs and startups are interdependent. So being an SME founder is not bad. It's actually great for the economy. So for those who are thinking, it's actually great. And you don't have the burden of an SME, of a startup founder, because there's a lot of burden to that, which I'll come back to later. So because of the short time I have, let me just quickly go through the process of how you move from an idea to a startup, right? And I told you that it begins with an idea, and it should get to a point where you have PMF, product market fit, before you can actually say that you can build a startup, right? With this. So you and your team members have the responsibility of going through these different phases. The first phase is customer discovery. Is there a customer for this? Customer discovery, that's the first phase. Your idea does not exist if there's no customer. If not, you're an NGO. So the first thing is figuring out, is there an actual customer that is willing to pay you for this? And what does that even look like? If you take, how many of us know Price Valley? No Price Valley. Okay. On Chowdeck, you can buy foodstuff from the market, right? On Price Valley, if you want foodstuff, all you have to do, they do this bulk order thing. So you order for basket of tomatoes, with like group buying basically. But you can buy foodstuff on Price Valley. Chowdeck's customer is different from Price Valley's customer, even though they solve the same problem. There's another company called Pocket Food. You know Pocket Food? You know them, right? So they make it available, they make it possible for enterprises, companies to buy food for their employees. Their target audience is companies, not the regular people. Chowdeck's target audience is the regular people. Do you see that? So customers vary. They're different. It's what we call customer segmentation. So the first thing you have to figure out is, who in this entire range am I going to focus on? Who is going to pay me the right amount to solve their problem? Because everyone clearly has the same problem, but they experience it very differently. And so you have to figure that out. So the first thing is customer discovery. Guess what? What I just explained is less than 1% of the full scope of how you go about it. Thankfully, Startup School has like more details, okay? But that first phase is you figuring out the customer. And there's also another thing to keep in mind, is that every startup is within an industry. You're not an outsider. Even if you say you want to disrupt the industry, you are still going to enter the same industry and become one of the players. You might take out certain incumbents, but you become one of the players. So you need to know who are the current players in this industry and who am I taking? Because there's a reason why when Bank of Italy was expanding into New York from California, why JP Morgan's grandson was fighting against him so hard for to come into New York, because there are people who are already there, who are making money from doing this thing you see you want to come and do. So they fought so much, it took them a couple of years. Eventually, Genie won, Bank of America today, as we know it, right? But it took a lot of back and forth. So you need to understand who are the players here and who am I kicking out or who am I helping because you can take out an incumbent. So, for example, with Uber and Co, right? They took out a couple people, and they also helped a couple people. They brought in new people into the space as well. So you need to figure that out, because some people are going to come after you. I'm not saying so that you can be scared. It's just how it works. Come after you in the sense of, they're just going to come after you. I think that's the best. So you need to understand how it works, right? So that's customer discovery. And then after that is problem discovery. Yes, they say they have the problem, but how do they experience the problem? How do you know if it's even the right problem to solve? What are the variations? When it comes to getting food, it can be maybe because you are lazy, that's why you don't want to get the food. It can be because the place is far from you. It's still the same problem, but it's just experienced differently. Do you get? So you need to do a deep dive into the problem itself. And so problem discovery. So you identify the customer, the people that will most likely need this, and then you move on. Oh, I skipped a very important step. Okay, I skipped a very important step. So let me go back. Before customer discovery. Whenever you have an idea, yes, the beginning, whenever you have an idea, the first thing you must do is to identify the problem connected to the idea. So, for example, you wanted to buy something from a restaurant or from a supermarket and you didn't cash. So you quickly go over to the POS person, right? Give them like your card, and they use the POS, right, for you to, and then just from 1 minute, 2 minutes, to 5 minutes, to 10 minutes, to 20 minutes, you're there, the cash is not out, there's nothing showing, it's just loading, and in that moment an idea pops. What if we could create a fast POS that can make transactions fast, right? It's a good idea, right? No, it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. So that's how we feel. So make a fast POS. So you bring an idea and you're excited, you start calling somebody in China, how can we, produce 100 POSs, so that we can import it, it'll be fast. If you go through that route, you fall into a very big trap. Every idea is divided into 3 parts. Every idea, no matter the idea you come up with, is divided into 3 parts. First is the person experiencing the problem. Okay? The second is the problem itself. Right? And then the third is the solution you came up with. First, the person experiencing the problem itself, and the solution you came up with. You see that solution you came up with? Throw it into the dustbin. Does not deserve any expression, especially at the beginning. What you should focus on is the person and the problem. So in this case of our fast POS guy, what is the great fast POS? Throw it into the trash can. What you focus on is, who is the person experiencing the problem? The one? The person that wants to withdraw cash, okay? And also the woman who is also using the POS, right? Affecting her business. What is the problem itself? Transaction. That's what you focus on. So you start this, what I started with in the beginning, which is customer discovery. Who in this entire process are we focused on? Which is the business person and the individual. By the time you do the research, you're not going to do a deep, when you do the research of the industry, you're not going to do a deep dive into how the fintech industry works and how slow transactions happen in the industry. Who are the different regulators? Who are the switching? Well, do you understand? You do a deep dive into the industry, then you now see the root cause of the issue. Do you see that? And then you identify the person that is coining a present problem. So for example, if you do this properly, you identify the person and the problem. You do the fintech industry research. You now realize that there are people they call NIPSS. There's the central bank. There are people who build rails. People, it's very easy to launch a fintech. All you need to just plug and play to different APIs, right? So you realize that, oh, the reason why there was a slow transaction that day was because NIBSS was down. And they come down every 5 days because of, so you start doing that deep dive. Now it's like, oh, the reason why that's because one staff used to go to the toilets every 5 days. So you don't realize at the end of the day, that problem you were trying to solve, there was nothing to do. So you just need to change the stuff. Do you get what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? So you do that deep dive. So you don't stop running to get your POS. When you realize that you too, you will experience that 5 days because that guy will go to the toilets. Do you understand? Do you get it now? So that process must be done. That research must be done. People experiencing the problem, we will now go to problem discovery. Right? What's the root cause? We get into what's the root cause. Then after that, the next thing is problem customer fit. Problem customer fit. So problem customer fit has to do with trying to see if the problem you identified at the customer segment, if there's a fit. This one has to do with actual work. You go out there, you talk to the customer. So if you say at the beginning of research, you realize that the person that is experiencing this problem is a young university student who buys food 3 times a week. You go out there and find how many young university students eat 3 times a week. Sit down with me. How do you experience this problem? Is this a real thing for you? What are they? So you talk to them. That's finding problem customers fit. By the time you talk, you realize that, oh, what you were thinking said is not the real case. There's a much more deeper issue with how that person buys food that you didn't see. Because guess what? You are not the customer of your business. It's the people out there that are the customers of your business. And if you spend the entire 2 years of your life working on the idea but never talk to a single person, you're going to fail. It's very simple. You will fail. Because you're not building for them, you're building for yourself. And you cannot afford to pay your price. Are you? Even me, I cannot afford to pay price for my business. I know. My staff, they always laugh at me. That I'm not a typical customer of the company. Right? So you have to talk to the customer. So you find problem customer fit. Then you take the insight you got from that customer's interaction. There are many things you have to do. It's a deep process, which you will get to, the team will put you on how to go about that, right? You take that insight and you begin to work out how can we solve this problem. So that's problem solution fit. Problem solution, that's the next phase. Problem solution fit. So after problem customer fit is finding problem solution fit. So the thing about finding problem solution fit is that you don't want to put yourself, remember we threw away the solution we came up with. Here we have to come up with different ways. And that's the thing, that's the biggest challenge of most people. Because they hog that solution so much, they're unable to see any other way outside of that. And if you're unable to see any other way, you cannot be a founder. Because a founder is faced with so many problems and you have to be coming up with solutions every single day. And if your brain cannot work out solutions on a daily, you will not survive in many years to come. So at that phase, you and your team members need to say, okay, how can we solve the problem? So let's say, for example, we say that the problem we identified is that restaurant businesses are complaining that people no longer buy from their restaurants. So you go, you talk to them and they tell you that, oh, the reason why people no longer buy is because people are stuck in traffic. So anytime it's traffic period like this, they don't see sales. And so you come within yourself and realize, okay, traffic is the real issue. How can we solve the problem? So the first idea you guys can, the first solution you can come up with is, maybe you say, let's hire monkeys. They will jump from bus to bus, take the food from the restaurant and drop it in the cars of the people that order. They're going to see the GPS. They will be taught on how to do that. That's a fantastic idea. Fantastic solution. You could come up with another solution saying, okay, let's see if we can put people on bikes, bicycles. They will drive through traffic. They will get the details of the people that made the order. They'll go to restaurants. They will start tripping it through cars. You can now say, okay, maybe in that one people will die, Let me try that one. And then you say, okay, let's have at every bus stop. If you make an order through those restaurants, everybody also keep your food there. You go, you pick up your food. The Agbero, they'll steal the food. So you keep coming up with different ways to solve the problem. You keep coming up. And then you take those solutions you came up with, go back to the business person. I came up with these 10 solutions. Which one do you think will work? Which one will you pay for? Because if they will not pay for it, there's no need to do it. So maybe they choose the monkey idea. Great. Who are the people that will order the food? You go and meet them. Your restaurant say monkey idea will work. Will it work for you? No, I don't want monkey to touch my food. You go back again. You do that, finding problem solution. And then once you're done, next thing is to figure out the business model. How do you make money? So you begin to put in the cost associated with you having a monkey. Maybe it will take you $5,000 to hire a monkey. Train it. Give it backpack, give it a phone. So by the time you do all that process, then realize that for each monkey, it's going to cost you $10,000. Then now multiply that by the number of meals you can deliver in a day. Plus the restaurants, okay, you ask them, how many meals do you do in a day? They tell you 100 meals, okay. How much do you charge for a meal? Okay, you're not doing your calculation. If I have 10 monkeys, that's $10,000. You will do the calculation. You don't figure out, okay, if I charge $100 per delivery, I'll be able to make back my cost plus something on top, right? You're not going to meet the person, please, do you pay $100 for one meal to deliver your free traffic? Then you have to go back again. That entire process is finding business model fit. You have to also figure out how will you collect the money. Who will pay you? Is it the restaurant that will pay you? Or is it the person that will pay you? Or is it the monkey that will pay you? Because he will make his own money too, for doing the delivery service. So do you understand? So that's business model fit. Then that leads you into product market fit. This is where we're trying to go to in the first place. Right? So with product market fit, you have done all this talk, you have your price set, the solution set, you go out there, you find the first 10, are we together? See, you are looking at something behind me. Okay, so let's continue. Because we're about to hit a very important one, I don't want you to be distracted. Are we together? Great. So product market fit, what you now do is find the first 10 businesses for who you spoke to, first 10 customers from who you spoke to say, give me $50. You agree that $50 will make sense. Give me $50. Right? Give me the next 1 week. Let me do this thing for you every day. If by the end of 1 week, you have not just 10 customers of those people, you have 20. Now you're on to something. Because now they are referring you to other people. You are making your $50, you've made $500 at the end of 1 week. You now have more customers because they are referring you. Business is growing. You don't have to approach any investor. You see that? So you start making money from day one. But this process, many people avoid it. They want to go and pursue their idea. And then they start building. I know many people. This particular guy is so sad. He spent 5 years trying to build this app. He relocated from Abuja to Akure, closer to the university, so they could get some young talent. Hired them, did t-shirts for them, had office, they were doing things that they do at Google. He was doing it, hangouts, giving them food from his own money that he made from real estate. It was like a month to an app. This app will change the world. 5 years ran, money finished, app not built. Relocated back to Abuja to start again on the same app. He met me. You see, there are some people that you know that they can never make it. Because if you are too stuck on your ways, you can never make it. We notice even with the evolution of time. Take, for example, there's this problem that Uber solves today. I'll be wrapping up now. There's this problem that Uber solves today that donkeys of 1,000 years, or 1,000 years small, of 10,000 years ago as we're solving. Who knows what that problem is? Moving from point A to point B. But over the years, we'll see donkeys do that, horses do that, carriages do that, before we now had more. So you see that in life as a founder, you want to exist beyond your generation. You have to have that mentality of evolving, finding the best solutions to the problem, iterating, improving, listening to the customers. Those are things that you start with and continue with for the rest of your journey. For the rest of it. The moment you stop listening to customers, just watch it, you will die. The company will die. Because who is paying you? It's your customer. And if you're not meeting their need, they will not pay you. Look at all the people you've paid money to. Were you dashing them because you love them, or because they were solving a problem for you? Which of them? Solving a problem. So if you want to be a founder, you want to be a startup founder, have this mindset. And that's one of the things that we teach at SDC Startups. At SDC, we have quite a number of initiatives and innovation drives that are focused on helping you move from just having an idea to an actual company. We have a lot of venture partners who are there to support you on your journey. You don't have to figure it out all alone like I did, decades ago, right? Life can be easier. And who knows, somebody in this room might be a billionaire. In a couple years from now, you might be building the next space star, the next flutterwave, the next child there. And we hope, because most of these guys started from campus. And we hope that through our support, you get there fast. Somebody say amen? Amen. Thank you so much. I realized that I didn't introduce myself. My name is Cynthia Ichiso. I'm the principal partner for SDC. And we're focused on turning individuals to founders. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A warm round of applause, everyone. Are you happy? Are you happy to be here? This is why I said those who are not here are losing out. They're losing out big time. Are you aware that the founder of Facebook, that's now Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, started from campus? Are you aware that Google founders, the partner, started from campus? Microsoft, who started with his friend, Microsoft of today, Bill Gates, started with his friend. What are you discussing with your friend, your roommate, your classmate? What are you discussing? You need to start changing your thoughts, your discussion. Look inward. What problem can we solve? I want this new faculty of computing and informatics to be like what they have in US, in MIT, in Boston University, in Silicon Valley. I want us to have a change. We'll be producing founders before you graduate. That is my dream. I want us to start producing founders that everybody will be rushing to Unilab. They want to come and do computer science here in our faculty. They want to come and read AI and robotics, or cybersecurity or software engineering. They want to come to FCI, Faculty of Computing and Informatics. In the York Nigerian University will be #1. That is my vision. Because by the time we start having startups springing up here and there, this will be the go-to school. That is my vision. That's why I came up with our organization, Intelligence Systems Lab, and Roytech, the business, and Roytech Consulting. That is it for now. Next, we also have, there'll be a demo showing you how you can be part of the startup school. During this Christmas, our goal is that you start learning immediately, so that when you come January, you come and tell me what you have done, what you have achieved. Because we are partnering with SDC, there will be SDC Startup School. There will be a launch pad, a program next year. They normally have 3 or 4 cohorts per year, 3 or 4 sections. We're going to select those of you that will take part in it. You would come with some, even if you don't have ideas, they can help you. You'll be taught how to come up with ideas, even if you can't generate. But if you have idea, fine. So there will be 3 categories: people without idea, people with idea, and team members. And then people who have started their business and got are stuck with problems. I know some students who have waited 2-3 years. They have startup, they are going up and down looking for how to make it work. I can see they are suffering. So I felt we should really help you start thinking right now to avoid you getting into problems. After the start of school, you will get back to me, and then the launch part, because I'll be liaising with her early next year, they will let me know when it is ready. We'll select those of you that will take part in it. And then in 9 weeks, not 9 years, not 9 months, you will have a company. Am I correct, Cynthia? In 9 weeks, you will build a company and start making money. And then, after a while, you will have built your traction, and then you can apply for grants. You know, there are so many you pitch. We'll show you where you pitch. These people that have money win $50,000, $10,000, so it depends on how good your idea is. You start making money. Are you aware that this Money Point, formerly Tima, is owned by the co-founder, Felicite, is from our department. Felicite finished from here. Money Point. All the people working there, we know them. He also taught stand-up for recognition. He taught the workers there. He's there. Solomon Amadi, Google it. Solomon Amadi is the CTO of Money Point. I started him with program. When I was teaching him in 100 years, 100 levels, 200 levels, he was stuck. This was the person training them. He and Tosin Amuda is in IBM now in Europe. He chose to remain here in academics. You guys should applaud him so much. I don't know why he chose to be a lecturer. All the people he taught, and Dokai is in Canada as I speak. She's in Microsoft. Now she has got to Meta, Canada. These are people with time I would do video call with them, and then they will talk to you. They are our students I taught them programming. And then after a while, I noticed how good he was. I spotted him, and I said, please start helping with tutorial. So we'll do tutorial sessions and teaching everybody. While I led Beda is in Money Point, he taught him. Dumebi wants to talk to me, but I told him later. He's in Money Point. Kesa is in Microsoft Seattle, US. These are all our from this department. Now, the era of earning so much in tech is reducing. So the era now is for you to start thinking of owning your own company, because due to AI and automation, a lot of people are looking jobs in tech world and software. So you need to start strategizing. That is why we're here. So on that note, to help you learn everything you need to know, we'll have a demo session of the startup school showing you everything the course entails. So I'll hand it over. Yeah. All right. So I think we'll be sharing our screen shortly. So we've done it in a way where we don't have it actually, but we've done it in a way where the startup school is completely free, right? It's a full resource. I'm going to be sharing our screen to show you what that looks like. You stay the website now. Okay. www.sdcstartupschool.com. Okay. So I'll be handing over to Kachi. Somebody should take a screenshot of this and put in the WhatsApp. So more students can join. Please, somebody, 100 level, 200, 300, 400, 500, put it, snap this and put this website that they can start taking courses. Because I will still do a Zoom meeting with the class. Somebody should just help me put this. I love this. So the startup school is where you start from, right? That's the startup school. Then we also have the Champions, which is a competition for university students across Africa, right? They also have the Launchpad. So this is Kachi. She leads the SDC Startup School team at SDC.
Thank you, everyone. I would have loved to give you an overview of Startup School, but I think Cynthia has done justice to that. So I'm just going to be taking you through the demo section of how to register for Startup School. Please bless me if you will. I'm just going to wait for you to share the screen so I can take you through that process. anyone looking to change the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, if you have innovative ideas. In fact, if you're not even sure about your idea as an individual, I encourage you and I employ you to register for Startup School. So let me just take you through the process. So when you visit our website, you go to join Startup School at the very top. Yes. You go to join the Startup School. Yeah, it takes you to this page. Okay, scroll. Then we go to join now for free. Yeah. This is emphasis on it's a free program, so it's for everyone. Okay. Yeah, join now for free. Network is not our friend today, I don't know why. What network are you using? The Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi. Manuel, do we give them our 5G? It has to be so sorry about that. Yeah. So okay, so now we are here. Then we go to get into the class, right? But realize this is on a seller platform. So before you are able to get into the class, it will tell you to first register or get a seller account before you can register for this class. And once you register for seller, right, you get an email. You get an email that will link you to this very page. Then after this process, you just fill in the registration form. Sorry, please, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? No. Oh, is the mic working? What happened to the mic? They took light. Okay, this is in okay, please, do I have to go over it again or? Alright. So now, once you are done with your registration, this is the course, this is the module rather. We have about 64 classes on this very module. It's about 8 modules. And each of these modules, right? Each of these modules has different classes. And we tell you that whenever you complete, please can you just like have the drop down for the very first module? The drop down for the very first module, yes. So first you read the instructions and introductions to Startup School so that you get familiar with how everything works on here. And then for every class you complete, you have to tick that box by the left. You have to tick that box. Please can you tick the first one? And once you do that, over at the top, it shows that you have completed 1 out of 64 classes, right? And that's how you're going to, that's how you're going to do it as you go. So we have introductions to Startup School. Then, can you please go to module 1? Yes, this is the fundamental for building Startup School. Please, module 1, yes. Can you go to scroll down to the last? So yes, if you look at module 1, please, for every time you complete each videos on this module, you are going to tick the boxes, right? So we have discussion room and we also have case study review room. So we employ you that once you go on there, you share your thoughts, you share your ideas. We also have comment sections. I don't know if you can scroll through the comment sections so then see, right? Sometimes we ask you to introduce yourself, share your progress so far, what you learned from that module, and in fact, if you have questions or anything pertaining to that very class you just completed, we encourage that you share and you put on there. Definitely you will get responses. So if you are not clear with anything, just let me know so I can walk you through the process again. Thank you.
I would also like to add as well that for every module you complete, like a set of modules you complete, right? We also have assessment tests. So you take tests to actually be sure that you understood what you learned, right? And then, so if you take module 1, for example, module 1 discussion room, the discussion, click on module 1, then go to the discussion room. click on discussion room and scroll to the bottom, just scroll. So you see, keep scrolling. So you see there are other people who went through that module, right? And they shared some of the things that they took out of it. So you can learn from other students. We're talking like all over the continent. We have over 3,000 students that have done and are going through the startup school, right? So anytime you complete the module, just write it as 20 hours ago. Somebody was studying 20 hours ago. But this is something they did. Alright, so scroll to, let's go to module 3 for example. So if you go to module 3, okay, no, on module 1, go to case study. So also we have case studies. Scroll down to case study. Your module 1, like the next after is case study, yes. Click on case study. Case study. After discussion, case study, yes. So on case study, you will find podcasts, right, of other founders who have built. Some of these founders, you get to even meet them on the launchpad, right? So they share their story. You need to see how they went through their process, some of the mistakes they made. And for every case study you listen to, you join other people at the bottom, scroll to the bottom of that, and see and discuss with other people what they gained from that particular podcast, right? Let's go to module 3. Module 3. Yes, go scroll down to the bottom. Yes, task and templates. Yeah. So for module 3, by the time you get to module 3 downwards, there are things that you now have to do. So module 1 and module 2 are laying the foundation, a couple of concepts that you don't know about in startup space. You have to learn it so that you don't make mistakes. So for every module there are tabs. So if you click on view PDF, click on view PDF. at the top, view PDF. Yes, okay, great. So it will take you to where the templates are. So you take you to where the templates are and then you can go through them. Just click on next. Click on next. So there are things that you now have to do. So you and your team members, you study together over the holidays. This person will do this part, this person will do this. So that by the time you join the launchpad, you can present some of the things that you've done and it's easier for us to support you going forward. So these are some of the things I mentioned earlier today. So we can go back to the startup school.
What did you click to bring out this module 3?
Yes, for module 3 there are some tasks.
So what did you do? Okay, that
View PDF, yes. But you read the instructions, okay?
First to create an account.
Yeah, no, this
I mean, the first thing is
to create an account, yes. Register, create an account, you have access. So one of the things I always tell you is you have to be disciplined if you want to complete this, right? And if you guys are a team, you guys can keep yourself accountable. So what does that mean is you say every day, there are many of students that I get to talk to, they take out 1 hour out of their day to just sit down, take notes, learn, write these things. It changes everything for you. Like you see the world differently. By the time you're done, you see the world differently. Okay? So you take 1 hour every day, complete, you can divide the same thing, module, I'll do 3 classes a day, 4 classes a day, and you get to join other students. You also connect with other students. Most of them share their LinkedIn profile, their social media profile. You can reach out to them, oh, I'm learning here, and connect with more people. Okay? So it's a global village now. So I don't know if anything is wrong. Please put your hands together for Kachi. LMS. So that's the competition. One more. Okay. One more. Okay. Yes. So for the competition, for the global competition, for those that want to participate in like the global competition, we've been going from university to university. We've been to like 3 universities in the past 2 weeks. We have a couple more. We're going to LAUTECH next week, right? So we're going from university to university. So if you have other people in universities that want us to come, we are more than happy to come. So we'll go from university to university. to get you to participate in the competition where you get a bill. And you register. When you click on register, it takes you to the LMS. I'll be handing over to Blessing, who is also part of the team members executing the Build-A-Thon competition. Please put your hands for Blessing.
Good afternoon. So for the Build-A-Thon that we have in 2026, everything since I said we want to be implementing. So we have a report where we have interested people, founders, students like you from African countries, not just Nigeria. We're coming together to build amazing stuff. So I was just taking you through the website, how you go to register, sign up, and get your access to your Build-A-Thon. So once you get to the website, on your smartphone you see should I take them to the smartphone or just okay, I'll use the web version to just take it through. So when you get to the website, you have access to our programs, and under it come to SDC Champions. So from the SDC Champions, you come to let me go back that again. Programs and SDC Champions. So you see on register, click on register now to get access. So by the time you click on register now, you'll be asked to register for the Build-A-Thon coming to institute. So I'm filling your details, and after which you'll be taken to this welcome page. The way it works is you're going to get the unique password sent to your mail, either your spam or your general email. So after putting your details on this particular page, after clicking on join now, you're going to get a unique password sent to your mail. So anytime you want to access the Build-A-Thon website, because we have some things I'm going to be showing you. We have the final course, we have the assessment test to know whether you're ready for SME to start on that. So to access this website, you have to use that unique password sent to your mail each and every time you come to this particular website. So this is what it looks like after you sign up. Then you click on access the Build-A-Thon portal for 2026. So once you access the Build-A-Thon portal, I've actually done that with my own mail. This is the page you are accessing. So the primer course is an extensive introduction course we are taken by Cynthia, which is giving you an intro to what a startup is, the difference between startup and SME, what you need to know about startups, what is it about, what it entails, what you need to know about an SME, what it entails, everything about startup and SME, the differences between them, so as to give you a bedrock, a foundation to what you're going into. So from there, trust me, by the time you're done with the primer course, you'll have yourself determine whether you're going to be an SME founder or a startup founder. And mind you, we have a space for you, whether you're a startup founder, we have our partners, Plan Drive, we'll be taking the SME founders as well. So you can, by the time you register, you can go through the primer course. After the primer course, you're going to take an assessment test. Okay? The assessment test is to check for your capability, whether you are really going for SME school. So you are going to determine from our end as well. You know, watching the primer course suite.
How long will this take?
No, just so taking the primer course is just to get your own self-clarity. Then taking the assessment course, we definitely from our own end verify that okay, you're going for either startup or SME. And after which you're going to join the community, then participate in the Build-A-Thon as can. So that is all from my end. Please note that every time you go to the Build-A-Thon website, you're going to use the unique password sent to your Gmail, and that's how you access it. So I'll see you in 2026. Thank you very much.
Hello? There's still no light. You don't need to worry. When it is time next year, they will let me know, and then I'll send the info across to you. But for me, you're trying to, what is the goal of this? This Build-A-Thon. It's for them to get access to the launchpad. So, you're right, Build-A-Thon is for the launchpad, other African, and then eventually get to the launchpad. Which is not the I understand. Yeah. This is a long route. Instead of waiting. You know, there's one coming up early next year. There are various series of products. When I make a section now, you don't need to wait for this just to get into it. So you can get into it directly. Like I read out, those who can't idea, those
cloud developers. Chatting the guy, the MD of the company, Angola, but he couldn't come. So he told me to represent him. Last year, I was past part of the process. Or I think this year, not last year, I think this year. So, Skygrid, what happened? Skygrid is a tech company, they're in Lagos, Nigeria. They are AWS partners. So those of you who have ideas, want to test your ideas, want to build MVPs, after you have finished with your startup school, you're cool, your idea is validated, you know your business model, you know your business plan, you know your marketing strategy, everything is okay, you're sure that you make money, then you need to build the cloud. So this is why this company is offering resources to their AWS partners. And this is it, this is what they're offering you. Who we are? Skygrid Global Technologies is an advanced AWS partner that helps startups. Skygrid Global Technologies is an advanced AWS partner that helps startups and tech-inclined businesses access AWS credits, move their platforms to AWS, reduce cloud costs, manage their cloud environment, and even build custom software when needed. Skygrid Tech is a cloud and digital transformation partner, helping startups across Africa and EME, that is Europe, Middle East, what is Europe, what is that A there? Africa, what's the Middle? Yeah, Middle East and Africa, Middle East, scale faster using AWS Cloud, generative AI, modern software engineering, cloud optimization, startup-friendly infrastructure support. These are all the services they have for you. How do we help businesses grow? We've helped over 20 plus businesses across fintech, health, edutech, and more to secure the following. Secure AWS cloud migration, DevOps automation, cloud cost optimization, access to 5,000 to 100,000 AWS credit, activate credit. We guide startups through the AWS. What happened? Okay, network glitches. From the connection. I'm going to use what connection am I using? I think it's really happening. Yes, the one is always the best. So just share it. credits, which will help you build in this cloud. You know, as you start off, after the training from the cloud, let's do the start of school. Your ideas validated, you're ready now with your team, you use the resources to build your MPP. After which you build your traction and everything is working well, so you now teach and then you get ready to do the computer. So next slide please. Why startups choose us? Why startups choose us? Skybree Tech is like having a trusted tech partner behind your business 24/7. We help startups reduce cloud costs, move from idea, MPP to production quickly. Access AWS credit to save money, build smart, scalable apps, focus on growth while we manage infrastructure. Next, we also have GCP, they have their own products, and Microsoft Azure. So those partners with those ones, when we're starting with this first. We'll be telling you more in our group as we get more partnerships. We have eligible startups that sells up to $100,000 in AWS credit. 5K startup and perfect for end user testing. Then $25,000 for growth stage, scaling infrastructure, and then $100,000 for enterprise, full scale production. Startup save cost, test for ideas faster, and reduce burn rate. So all this you can achieve because we have the technical school. You have everything you need now to succeed. Now, we help startups reduce monthly AWS bills by up to 30 or 60% through right-sizing resources, auto-scaling to match traffic, using serverless, pay-as-you-go resources, removing waste on these resources, setting budget and alarm. You spend only what you need. Next. Cloud migration for startups, networking. This is what they do. We short speed security agreement with Gladys and lot of yes, because I really want to run that there's a scholarship part. So you can see there are some slots for scholarship. To be able to work in the cloud, you need to do some class education. So they are paying for you to do some courses from start to the end. Depending on the certification you are going for the high level, there's 100 level. So we will choose people that will win this. You have to find a random way around it. We build cloud native products quickly. But as we partner with more companies, we get more resources that can go around for everyone. I can see your mother does. So we need to find a way to test those you're going to give it to. We build cloud native products quickly, entry development, web and mobile apps, APIs and microservices, generative products, AI-assisted applications, serverless applications, CI, CD, and DevOps automation. Next, please. So they help you with all this. Next. Our startup differentiators. This, I don't need to read again, you can read yourself. Now, how we support students? This is a AWS certification sponsored program. We don't need to tell you that they have 20 slots for you, our students, to help you. Next. The MD is online watching. If you have questions, I can't answer, I'll pass it to you because I'm not their staff. Empowering students with AWS skills. Skybree Tech is committed to empowering the next generation of cloud professionals. We are sponsoring 20 students to write any AWS certified exam of your choice so you can become cloud professional. Next. Now, what will you get from the AWS certification? You build globally in-demand skills, access high-paying tech tools, strengthen your CV, because when you finish, you really want to do your startup, you need to go and work. So you become a cloud developer. And we also have one here, DevOps. We're starting for recognition, Jeremiah. He's a wizard, he's a cloud engineer, DevOps. Please stand up for recognition. Next, and so these are the things, because he's a DevOps engineer. Now, what Skybree will cover? See, Skybree Tech will sponsor full exam fee for one AWS exam certificate, because there are many exams. Support materials plus guidance, optional mentorship sessions. Eligible certifications include, these are the ones: AWS Cloud Practitioner, AWS Solutions Architect. Next, please. These are the certifications they sponsor, so you connect with us. So this is it. You have to reach out to me, so because I have to select the 20. are the certifications. But they said they are sponsoring, I think they said 2. Okay, go down. Okay, I mean, maybe I need 2. Go up again. That means I think you're free to choose from any of the certifications. Yeah. Okay. You're eligible to choose from any. I think as the slide was going up, I thought it was only 2. There are 5 certifications. You choose any one you want to do, and you finish. He told me it depends. Some of the certifications are $100, some are $400, and that they will pay. You know how much a regular is? What's dollar? 150? 145. That's more than 5,000 if it's already. If it's times 3, it comes down 435,000. That is if your own exam is $300. So round of applause to this company. Do you have any questions for the company so I can ask him to join? Let me ask him to come. Do you have any questions for the company so I can tell the MD to join? Do you have any questions or you don't have? You have? What's the question? Do you have questions for the company? For this scholarship? Any question? What's the question, please?
My question is that what prerequisite knowledge do you need to have before you can actually apply for the scholarship? Do you have to be like
Emmanuel, please, the man, how can he come online so they can see him? The man from his office cannot join from the Zoom link.
The man can join with the Zoom link, the man can join. Just send the Zoom link to him.
I've sent it. Do I need to log out for him space to show? How will he
Hello? Hello? If it's online, then it will show.
How will he come up?
Let him just unmute, share, come online. He can.
I'm online. Can you hear me? I'm online. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Should I ask him his name so he can?
He's speaking, but we can't even hear him. Yes, he's speaking, but we can't hear him because of light.
You know his name?
That's him, yeah. So I'm asking him to start a video so that we can even see him. Let him start video so that we can see him. He should start video so that we can see him. Yes, I'm ready.
Hello?
Start video so that we can see him. Ustaz Ike, can you start your video, please?
Why?
We can see you live, we can hear you speak, and we can see you live. Can you
calling me for press bank? Check my credit alert. Why are you calling me? I should show press bank. You are a fraud.
Yeah, now you can start your video. Output lights. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right. Sorry, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So first of all, I want to thank Dr. Rosalind for giving us the opportunity to be of service or to be in this community. So we are SkyGrid Global Technologies. We're a technology and software company, and also we're into cloud computing. We're cloud partners with AWS and Huawei Cloud. So to support the community, we've come to help startup founders that are trying to launch a solution. We're going to help you guys with AWS credits, some form of financial stability that will help you scale. Because first of all, to the tune of the event, the team is from idea to scale. And I just want to say that one thing with Africa, and I'm saying this because we're AWS partners and we have first-hand communication with AWS. We know how interested they are in Africa, because Africa is a scaling ecosystem. Like at the time now, we're looking to help support founders to uh, strengthen their ideas, to help them with technical support and financial support in terms of credits. And to his question, the young man that asked the question, he asked if there is any prerequisites before you can join or with the certification exam. Well, there's no prerequisites. It's going to teach you as a beginner. But then you have an edge if you already are into tech. But then it's going to teach you as a beginner. So there's basically no prerequisites, because the resources we're giving you is going to help you from the scratch, from ground zero. And it is self-taught. It's self-taught.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So students, let's appreciate Skynet. So we will get back to you, sir, with the number
Okay.
of for the scholarship. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much. Next time you show
Okay.
you're able to still support us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Nice day. I'll get back. Okay. Yeah, I think it's time for the fire start section where you can ask questions for the other sections, start up and all that. It's where Cynthia come to the floor. Because I know you have so many questions for now. I have to bring this one so you can hear from the phone. It's not like I'm saying, but I hear that it is me. So I don't know how to think of the selection area now. You need to select the photo. There are two different kinds of candidates. So one to be the fireside section. Scava Silva, you on the podium. So please, all the questions you have for the start of school or everything we've done, please feel free to share your questions. Let's see that.
All right, so as like Dr. Simito said, it's time for the fireside chat. I know most of you have questions, a lot of questions I'd like to ask to present time. So if you have any questions, taking questions from some of our students. So if you have any question for Cynthia, please just feel free to use it so and ask the question. Please introduce yourself. Say a question. Maybe that all they have is I have a question for the starters. I was wondering if they also teach future founders how to acquisition institutions to like for research. Because my idea is kind of needs languages different don't be already if
learn how to talk to learn how to talk to people in this institution to come on board with my idea. Tell them I'm trying to use them for and regular people in the health sector. Related jobs
institutions. You want to say so now you jump about. Yeah, I'm a researcher. That's how we have intelligence systems lab. Intelligence systems lab is a research lab for the latest innovations. So you want to learn how to collaborate with research institutes?
Yes, labs
and hospitals, yeah. I just actually finished the training now. I graduated today. ABC Health Academy. They are for health-based startups. So I'm partnering with them. So you can see me and you can tell me how you can track me. I need to know what you're doing and get relevant bodies to help you as a researcher. That is why we're partnering with this business school because they are here as a kind of a bridge for you to stand on a fulcrum. A talker for you to lean on to achieve all this. The research institute, yes, we can. And then business school, yes, we can. So you reach out to me and you can take it up from there, depending on the nature of your business item, health idea. You know, health idea is special. So I just finished one training and I just make it on health. Everything they do is health. So you can run with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have something to respond?
Yes. I think you should actually respond to that question as well. But since startup involves collaborating between yes, so I think have you encountered something like that before? And how did you go about it?
Okay, yes. So it's a good question. When it comes to that first part where I talked about industry research, right? That place where you have to actually interact with these industry players. Right, so the first is establishing what problem are you trying to solve, and how does it in any way affect these other players? How does it affect the other players, right? And then you approach them. So the thing about approaching a very large organization is that a large organization is filled with human beings. So you find that key person that can give you a gateway, which is where profit comes in, right? So she knows this organization, you want to meet with somebody at Google. Instead of you writing to Google, find someone on LinkedIn who is maybe a staff of Google, right? And present the research to them saying, okay, I'm trying to research on how maybe we can use microplastics to address injury problems for babies. Right? And
So you come to us researchers because we have the link with Google.
Yes.
You know I need it. Yes. You know I need it. It's not in the US. It was our community developer in Nigeria. I always go to see them. So I can just shoot him in mail and say, this is that. Microsoft the same thing. When Microsoft is Nigeria for the shutdown, and the guy's boss, Hoffman, something of someone is a Ghanaian with dreadlocks. So you let him. Yes. He's not back to US. He wants to be here. So So we should have things. Researchers should come to me because I realize that researchers we can't work without the industry. So we are there. We have the need for them, and then we can run. And then the health sector to it is. So just come to me and you tell me the problem. I'll know who I'm going to work with. That's why we're in intelligence systems is a research angle of what we are doing. In return, I will know those to add to my last year students, they're part of the group, so we're going to have more members to become part of the intelligence systems lab. You tell us your ideas, we work together, we brainstorm, we develop solutions, we network with relevant bodies, the startups, so we have everything ready. Just get back to me on how to do it. That's fair. I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you so much.
You know, you really share your idea. I think it's something private. You don't want it out. So obviously, it's okay to see me.
Shared personal.
Yes.
All right, so let's go to the next question to finish the rest.
Okay. So this video, my question is how to see another listening, the other video, and like you said, get a process seriously, like let's get a and there's kind of like repeating members. My question is please, how do you find the right And how do you share your ideas with them? Because there's this thing of sharing ideas with them and then we just need your ideas. So that's how it comes to be.
So I just two things. One is the idea detection syndrome. It's actually it's not a good thing to be so protective of an idea. And remember I told you that an idea is problem solution, problem person experience problem and solution. Anybody at any point in time, that idea you have, 1,000 people also have. Because of the fact that I'm not going inside of it, I meet with founders every day. And there is no single time where someone tells me an idea and I've not heard it before. The difference is the person executes, right? You might have the same idea, but you execute, how do you execute? And it's scale. Those are the things you should be more concerned with than them. So I think let me lay that foundation. Don't hold your idea too much. Hold the execution process more than the idea. Because you are not the only person in this world. In this campus, someone just look outside and makes investments in Abuja. So, we teach you principles, things that you can apply one idea, right? That will give you the expected results. Right? So to your other question of like team members. So when it comes to team members, we need to realize that team members is more or less like a marriage relationship. Before you start dating someone, I know you're supposed to be talking about dating, but in real life, before you marry someone, you date the person. Before you date know the person is a friend somewhere, somehow. So first needs to establish that your team members, even before you start going through the process of dating, right? Who is that person from like a character perspective, a family? Is it someone that has an aspiration? Because one of the things I learned, and I was trying to might say one of our is that the team members that I put together, they have different aspirations. One wanted to become a designer at a major global firm. And that's what he's doing now. He doesn't want to work in a startup. Even though we were working on this together, it was very obvious that we're not going to. I was going to outlast them because they were not in it for the long run. So many things happen to different people. Cases would be their family members after school, they want them to learn their masters. That's neat. Some of them could be life challenges happen and they have to become breadwinners. Because of that, they have to get a job. Before you know it, they are trying to balance their job with the startup with the campus. So you have to first one check from a personal value perspective. What motivating this person? What does this person desire to do from an impact perspective in the continent? This person pro Africa, this person pro this particular industry. Is there an affinity first of all for this particular person when it comes to building as a startup? So for example, when you present the startup school to them and you tell them, oh, let's work together, does that person require additional push for them to complete the startup school? So you are driven, you are going to the startup school, but they takes a lot for you to even get them to. That's really a sign. But when you guys are working on something in the future, it will take a lot. The person is not intrinsically motivated. It has to come from the beginning because you are intrinsically motivated. You find us intrinsically motivated because at the beginning, there is nothing, nobody's giving you money anywhere. The only thing you have is just equity with business. Do you understand? And it's not making money, when you guys are trying to ideate and everything. So it has to come from within. So that's process. Then you go through the dating process. With the dating process, what's happening there is that you guys are working on projects together that is not the idea itself. So in class, you guys do assignments, maybe project things that you do together, maybe in your societies or your clubs or your communities. He's in charge of something or she's in charge of something, you're in charge of. Just see how that person takes up an assignment and completes it. Because you guys are co-founders. They're not just team members that you can give tasks, some parts of the task. You are building this together. So the person has to show that ability to start something and finish something. So even you and yourself as a person, you don't want to become a founder. Have you started anything in your life and finished it without anybody contributing you? That's one of the major reasons why parents can't trust you to say you can be a founder after school. Because they've not seen track record of you being an independent, disciplined person over a period of time. So when you now come to and say you want to pursue this idea, they are scared. They can't trust you. Do you know what I mean? So do smaller projects, build up skills, observe the person who should do that, do small community projects together outside of that idea. So that's how you identify people that are intrinsically motivated and they can build with you. Do you get it? Can build with you. So once you do all that assessment from afar, and it's not just to say, oh, right, I'm trying to check if you're a good person and you're not a good person. You also have to be motivated intrinsically. You also have to have the skills to build. They have to be committed to build it. You understand? That answers your question, right? You're welcome.
Think you should make by this. Yes. Thank you so much for that. So we're taking let's say 2 or 3 more questions. So if you have any questions, please kindly raise your hand. I think we're taking 2 from this side. So for those on this side, I'd like to get 1 or 2 questions. Like ask the house. Okay, let's balance it. Some of us sit on this side. No question for everyone on this side. All right, so let's come back here.
That's so.
First, now.
Are you okay? So what do you want to do after this? What you're taking away from this thing? How many founders are we going to get after this? You've been giving them you've been giving them, you've been giving this school. You've been giving out a launch pad, each hour now. Free. Doing training. After 9 weeks of training now, your company set up will be a
when you speak about startups, like you made emphasis on not the money startups like money points, this startup, etc. But then you now look at founders of these startups are like tech people that people that are already very much conversant with the coding, programming, and creation of things like that. But what about some of us that are here that are not tech savvy? Like what can you say to us and how can we go about it? Because if someone who is not really into coding now comes here and try to do this, there's like, well, I don't know how to do, I don't know how to do this, I'm not computer science, so let me do it for the other that can try to do that. So that's just the
Very good question. When I started to start my company, right, and I knew I needed to learn tech, I reached out to the university, just like our campus, and I said, "Will you do the website?" Say, "Yeah, sure." You now charge me 100K. I went back to my house, I know I didn't have 100K. I said to learn HTML and CSS, and that was my beginning of my journey to tech, right? But then if you compare that time, this is decades back, to now, where with a single line of text on Lovable can build a full-blown website. That's a different world. We live in a world where it's easier now to build an MVP than it has ever been in any decade in time past. There's a friend of mine who built, she's not tech anything. She's a minister of God. She preaches the gospel. Evangelist. She built her entire website by herself. I was there. She just showed me to like give feedback. She built the entire website on a Lovable authority, but I think it's called 54. There's Anything, there's Software, there's Eatable, there's Zapier that can help you with automations. So like it's pretty easy right now to have an MVP out there. So when I say MVP, because at the very beginning stage, the product market things, MVP is like one of the biggest things I'm looking out for, which is minimum viable product. So what's the best way for me to be able to see this is actually going to work for me, right? And start generating with it. And you do that, you start doing 1 million, 10 million. At a point, you have so many people trying to make the order, but you have enough revenue, right? You cannot start hiring a developer to maybe build something more sophisticated. But with the way technology is, you can build to a level of sophistication by joining different apps and tools together. Do you know what I mean? If you want to provide notifications, there are tools that can help you with email notifications. Anytime is one of them. Automation tools. Zapier is another automation tool. Where you can pick someone who fills a book form and you want them to be notified immediately that they registered and yes, like details. You don't need a web developer to do that now. So for you that you're not tech savvy, one is understand all these tools. Two is find the co-founder that is tech savvy and build that company together with the person. But you are not at a disadvantage, especially now. If anybody comes to me saying that, oh, I just think that you're making an excuse, you're not conversant with what's going on globally, the advent of AI and how it's changing the world. Young people are building companies, they are vibe coding. People that have no idea, no business with HTML and CSS, they are vibe coding a full-blown platform in Gemini and Co. So many tools are available now. Nobody has an excuse to not be able to see how to leverage technology to be able to explain. The only time we now look like a full-blown developer is when the magnitude of the demand and technical certification for things like fraud, preventing your data loss, you now have to build something more advanced. At least at that time, we have generated some level of traction where you can convince a developer to maybe take your project on the side or leave what they are working on to come and join you because they see prospects. Do you get what I mean? How's that answer your question? Thank you very much. Right.
You can also get a member for your classmates who are good at it, then partner with you, the co-founders. You understand? If you're lazy to do it yourself, just forget it.
All right, I think that also answers question that we have online. So for founders or aspiring founders who come from a product or not technical background, how can we effectively build or launch a startup idea targeting developers? So I think that answers the question. At the same time, she said that has answered our question. I think answered just to the
That's a mind into the last program. Very precise leaders, basically, this just maybe just people just behind everything started. Or just for that one, like what's style information or first decision started. No knowledge required.
What other side of it are you?
That's recently being asked a question about AI, cloud technologies.
Sadly, they will not give you just the resources. They also have access to YouTube. You have access to the cloud. They are giving you two things: access to the cloud, they will be credit, and then the scholarship for those who want to become very fast.
Okay, great. So there are two sides: there's tech talents and a startup farmer. You want to be a startup farmer, S6 for you. You want to have tech talent, you want to be a software developer, you want to be a data scientist, you go to people like Skype, and Della, go there and learn the skills of building. When you want to become a startup farmer, that means you have tech talent or not, but you want to build an actual company. So we help you move from just that idea to turn it into an actual company, because some people say that, oh, I have tech talent, I have a skill, I can build a website, so I'm going to build a company. Building a website on your app does not permit you to a company. You get. So what we have to change how to build a company. The skills that you acquire website.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think we are going to the end of this session. That's the Q&A session. So the next thing we have here is pictures, right? Yeah. So
And then before we snap, because I will give it on. Please make sure you, because I have access to something names. I won't be able to communicate anything with you if you don't feel that form. If you know you do not feel it or raise up your hand, somebody can give you. Because I don't have everything is automated. I have expression on the data. Everybody who signed, I'm not registered, the name is here. Yeah, I have 60 something notes. These are the people I'll be sending information. You do not feel you are not here. Check your passport, sir. It's there. Your governor has it. It drops. It's the issue. Check, fill this. There's a form. Yes, please fill so that I can communicate with you. We're going to send you more info. And then there's no other way to issue for the others. Do you prefer WhatsApp or email? Email. My phone is back. So if you prefer emails, and then what we have our YouTube link, we should share with you, follow, subscribe. Yeah, Instagram, and Facebook page, LinkedIn. All those things, we send them to you, follow us all the updates, because we have series of events next year. So please fill this form so we'll get back to you. When they are ready, the launch pad, the SDS, STC launch pad will inform you, and then you take part in it. Like I said, there are 3 categories. So pay directly to them when it stands to give you their hand, pay directly to them. We have those people with ideas who want to be part of the SDC launch pad, 90 days. After which we have the company called them. If you are somebody with that idea, it's 30K. If you have idea and team, then it's 50K. And then if you have people that each set of coaching, not more than 3 people, and the same start with the whole group, it's not 50 per person, 50 per team. So if you have people who have started their business, but has stopped with job, we're going to have a lot of who have graduated in this category. I will still need to talk to some other people. Like Abbas Fuad said 2 years ago, Solomon has a lot is going up and down. A lot of graduated students, 3-4 years, they are suffering, teaching, they are frustrated. So they will come here. Just basically a few of them and they will want to be so. We are trying to save from suffering. Please, a round of applause. That is what we agreed. So when you finish with this, like 9 weeks training, so please first do your startup school training this month. Once you're done, I will talk to you guys after this month. I will shoot you, blah blah blah. You respond, we talk. What have you learned? We have discussion. How we communicate with you guys. Then when it's time to start up for a launch party, this is a launch party. The 9 weeks, you have told us your ideas, you issue to the board, to the section. They have other facilitators that will teach you a whole lot for that 9 weeks. And then after that, your content will be ready, start making the money. And then from there, we'll take it up other issues, teaching or is it B2C, you will get everything clear. So I actually want us to start having founders, invite folks. You don't need to wait again to graduate, because actually your generation has access to a lot more resources than your parents. Things are changing. You're not young to be in the next millionaire. We have for 50 in US, for 50. You will find a name for it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Lagos, maybe 50 or 100. Where you will have a name for that special committee too. There are a group of rich guys who are finishing school and entering that group. So have a name for where we'll be celebrating as we go. So I think with that, we wrap up. Enjoy the rest of the day. When we stand to take the pictures. Please stay here, push this by the side. All right. No, that's all right. Put it there. That's all right. You guys have that for free. Two students carry this thing there. Hang by its corners. Just said that cloud developer scholarship. Let me know on my social media page. We need 20. Let me know if you're interested. Come, don't be interested.
What's
Interested?
interested?
You're already there for now. You still need more. You go and pay and you're already making money. I'll give it to the young boss. I'm not giving you anything. I'll give it to you. You're already doing it well. He has a cheese, he's doing well, he's selling in dollars. You want to know. You don't need it, go and pay, let them enjoy it. So rich. Yes, those courses now. Are you going to those are the list of courses. But just choose any one. I'm going to send I think I should send the courses to you guys. I'll send you more. Okay. All right, guys, please. Please fill that form. If you don't fill it, there's no way to communicate to it. There's no way to that's not any, I can't remember. Please fill that form because see, everything is coming to my back end. Then the first set, we're going to be our ambassadors. For some events, we might do a movie where she can join to the board. She had to fly down. All right, thank you. So as your time you watch my hair. As your time you watch my hair. Please spread the info. Can somebody create a WhatsApp for my own join? Who will create WhatsApp? Okay, create it quickly. Where will you done this now? No, you are from different levels. No. Send it for every level.